Alright guys, so here we are for episode number 10 of the F1 2014 modded career mode. This is the German Grand Prix and we have a wet race on our hands. I believe we qualified in second place, but on Friday practice we had our reserve driver, Pastor Maldonado, turn in some laps on Friday practice. He was testing some aerodynamic components of the car, making sure that they were all working properly. It took him a little while to get used to the car and get to grips with a Formula 1 car again, but overall, I think he did fairly well and set us up for a fairly good weekend. So here we are, Germany, second place. We've got a 100% chance of rain to occur sometime during this race. So chances are it's going to get heavier. So the setup is geared more towards the wet. So we've got medium, brake pressure, so we don't lock up or anything like that. The strategy is 2 stops, intermediates for the entire race. I'm going to go for an aggressive fuel strategy so I have less fuel to use and I can have a lighter and faster car for the start. So here we are, German Grand Prix. Wish me luck. Alright, so here we are on the grid of Germany, qualified in second place. We need to get off to a really good start here in the wet. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to try and do our best. And away we go here in Germany. Looks like the start, as per usual, absolutely terrible. We've been mugged by Vettel and Rosberg, it looks like, coming into turn 1, so we've dropped down into almost 4th place. Going to try and go around the outside of Hamilton now into turn 1. Doesn't really come of anything. We lose the rear end, as we're not really used to the car. Hamilton just gives us the lead there. He completely missed the apex by like 5 car widths. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but we now take the lead of the Grand Prix. We're struggling so much. This track is so wet. I think it's time for a set of wet tyres. Just about. As you can see on the screen there, we're definitely not suited to the track conditions at the moment. And as you can see, Hamilton putting us under pressure, and we've actually locked up coming into turn 1 into the kitty litter. We've dropped a whole bunch of time and positions. We're now almost out of the points now, as that small mistake has cost us big time. Hlkenberg goes fastest on the previous lap. We're now battling with Kevin Magnussen now, try and pass him back up the inside if we can. Job done, back into P8. Felipe Massa is getting a bit out of shape. They're going very slowly on the exit. The rear traction is just absolutely terrible at the moment. It's just an absolute nightmare trying to keep this thing on the track at the moment. We dive up the inside of Button, and now we tagged Alonso, and surely we're going to get a penalty for that. No! Only a warning for a course collision, so we've completely ruined our own race, let alone Alonso, and we didn't get a penalty for that. That was absolutely ridiculous, but anyway, cutting to the end of lap 4, we've caught up to the back of Valtteri Bottas, who's struggling at the moment. Somehow, we've gone purple, as you can see on the second sector intermediate, but into P12 now, and hopefully we can start to really regain that momentum we had at the start of the race, try and claw back some of those positions. Up the inside of Daniel Kvyat now, into P11, losing the rear end slightly. The traction is just so bad right now. It's just a struggle to keep this thing on the track, as I said before. Up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo there, into P10 now, so we've got a points paying position at the moment, only on lap 7, so we've got a long way to go yet. Up the inside of Verne, and he manages to hold it round the outside, and he's gone slowly on the exit, and we take him round the outside into the fast right-hander, into P9. Next up is Nico Hlkenberg, who was fast in the opening couple of laps. Now it looks like he's struggling, but we might try and go up the inside, can we? Yes, we do. And meanwhile, my engineer's telling me it's going to get even heavier in the next few minutes. So now we're coming in for a new set of intermediate tyres. The warning is that heavy rain will start to come down in about 15 minutes time. So I'm not going to be able to stretch out this current set of intermediate tyres for another 15 minutes. I thought, we're probably better off going for the undercut and going for a new set of inters. It turns out the AI will probably pick for a new set of intermediate tyres just before the rain or heavy rain comes down anyway, so we might be able to gain out of this if things go our way. But rejoining on the track now into P13, right in front of our teammate Romain Grosjean, and we just stay out in front of him. So now cutting to lap 14, For the last few laps, we've been clawing in these guys so much. We've been so much faster. And now we got the inside of Bottas there into turn 1. Next up is Daniel Kvyat. We might try and go up the inside into this right-hander here. Up the inside, job done, into P10. Next up is another Toro Rosso. It's Vern. He goes defensive into the hairpin, and we take him clean up the inside. Job done, leaving room on the outside, and into P9. So here we are, lap 17. The rain has been gradually getting heavier. None of the AI cars have come in for a pit stop yet, so effectively still racing them at the moment, but now cutting to lap 20. The rain just came down really heavily in the last few laps, or the last lap really, and now we've lost 12 seconds compared to our last lap. The rear traction, the front traction as well, is just completely gone out the window. It's like driving on ice at the moment, and surely if you're not on wet tyres now, you're an absolute idiot, but we'll be coming in now at the end of this lap. All of our tyres are absolutely blue, going onto the wet tyres, and this should see us through for another 20 laps on wet tyres, but we completely understeer into the wall, and we're out of the race. The realistic damage means we have retired out of this Grand Prix, and we're going to finish even behind Max Chilton. What a disappointing result. Lewis Hamilton wins from Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel. The drivers, we've taken a massive kick to the guts to Nico Rosberg, but that's not over, chaps. We're going to move on to the next race in Hungary, and look at that. We're driving a Toro Rosso. Now, I'll tell you what happened here, guys. Lotus were so impressed by Maldonado's antics in Friday practice, they decided to hire him as the #1 driver. They didn't get rid of Grosjean, the worst teammate I've ever had in career mode. They decided to keep him for God knows why, maybe money reasons. Apparently I wasn't bringing in enough money, so they kicked me out. Luckily, Toro Rosso were able to have me on board. We've qualified fairly down in the order, and guess what? It's raining at this bloody track as well. So it's just been an absolute nightmare the last couple of minutes in this video, but either way, we need to calm ourselves, just compose ourselves, take a nice deep breath. We've got another 70 laps on our hands, full wet conditions. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. Hopefully, for Toro Rosso's sake, we can get through in one piece. So, our first race for Toro Rosso, we still have the lead of the championship. It's raining. I've got no chance of winning this race. Today, it's all about damage limitation. And away we go. Looks like the start has been pretty terrible again. Just my starts in general have always been bad, but when you throw in the unpredictability of rain, it just makes it even worse. But coming into turn 1, we've lost 5 spots. Now we're just getting held up by everyone trying to go around the outside of Magnussen. He gets up into 6th place, so good job for him, but now we're languishing down in P11, so we'll try and come back at our teammate if we can. Bottas up the inside, and now getting blocked by Ricciardo. Kvyat trying to hold it around the outside. It's a bit of a sandwich between him and Bottas, and now we're going around the outside of our teammate. Job done, back into P11. It looks like so far the traction is just as bad, if not worse, than in Germany. We've got full wet conditions now, and the traction zones, the slow corners around here and Germany just meant that we just had no grip. We couldn't really generate any temperature into the tyres, and unfortunately it looks like that's the case again. Look at the rear tyres, not quite green. It needs to be glowing with greenness in those temperature gauges, but either way, cutting on to lap 5 now. We're languishing still. There's a massive gap to the cars ahead, and there's a safety car that's been deployed here on lap 5. Magnussen is trapped in the middle of the circuit, so somebody over the course of the lap has taken him out. They've retired, and Magnussen is still in the race somehow. So now lap 7, we're getting ready for a restart here. We're getting caught up behind Valtteri Bottas, going very slowly. There's a massive gap to the next car, which looks like a Force India. So we're getting ready for this restart. My tyres are still blue at the rear, so this safety car period is really not going to help out our tyre temperatures here. I decided not to stop in that restart, in that safety car period, because, you know, set of wet tyres, it can easily do about 20 laps, so we'll be looking to stay out for another 15-ish laps. We'll have to wait and see, but we got up the inside of Bottas into turn 1. Job done into P9. Next up is Perez, so we'll try and catch him as much as we can, but the tyre temperatures aren't looking that promising at the moment. And now cutting to lap 21. Unfortunately, we just didn't have any pace at all, and now we've just been pretty much backing up this pack here. Look at the rear traction there, absolutely sliding everywhere, and that allows Bottas and Hlkenberg to squeeze on through into the points paying positions. Now we've got to defend from Massa behind, but for the entirety of this first stint, the tyre temperature just hasn't been there. In full wet conditions, there's nothing else I can do. I've already got the worst tyre on the car now, so there's nothing I can do. Maybe change onto a new set of wets, but I'm not too sure that'll help, to be honest. It's just the track condition is just, the tyres are just too cold at the moment. Now, lap 23, my engineer is telling me to go to intermediates, so for the hell of it, I may as well go on to inters now and see if they work out, but it looks like no one else has stopped yet, so this is going to be interesting. If my wet tyres weren't warm enough to grip with the track, how do you think they're going to go with intermediates? This could be even worse, but at this stage, I've got so much to gain here. There's nothing really to lose at this point, so I may as well try it. So 3.0 second stop, not too bad. We rejoin in 14th, in front of Max Chilton and behind Pastor Maldonado, which is a bit precarious. But lap 27, the intermediates had even less temperature than what the wets had, so I thought I'd come in for a new set of intermediates. The track is starting to dry out gradually, so I thought maybe a new set would help me out a little bit, but I'm not too sure. We're going to have to wait and see. Lap 28, half of this race has gone by and we're almost a lap down. This race is turning out to be a absolute disaster here. Another decent pit stop there, but really it doesn't matter at this stage. I'm just hoping for the track to dry out as much as it can and as quickly as it can. And then after that I might need a safety car. So lap 43, we're getting lapped now by the race leader. I think that's Daniel Ricciardo, the race leader. No, he's in 7th, so either way we're getting absolutely demolished in this race, and it might actually be looking like we're going to pass Ricciardo again thanks to the slipstream up the inside, and there we go, job done. I guess the more the track dries out, the better it's going to be for me, because it seems like at the moment there's just some kind of temperature glitch with myself. The AI, of course, not being affected. I just think it's down to the nature of the track. There's so many slow corners that there's just no way for the rear tyres to generate any retraction or any temperature, I suppose. But anyway, we're going to pass Maldonado here. This is the first time we're actually going to pull an overtake this race, so it's been this frustrating, this race. The first 40 laps were just so bad. The traction was just not there because, as I said before, the temperature was not there for the whole race, so I've not had anything to fight with. Finally, going on to the option tyres. It's been raining all weekend, so I don't know how fast this Toro Rosso is. We're going to find out on a new set of option tyres. I don't think I'll be able to make a set of primes last to the end, but either way, rejoining on the track now, we've got Valtteri Bottas in front of us. That's not Felipe Massa, so effectively we won't be battling for position. But going back to the rain and everything, my engineer was telling me that the rain was going to stop in 10 minutes time, and he kept on giving me that message for about 20 laps. It was just ridiculous. I was waiting for that rain to come to stop, and then finally it did. But we made contact there with Bottas, who was getting held up by Marcus Ericsson, who's the cork in the bottle there. So that allows us to pass Bottas up the inside, but we might get those blue flag warnings either way. But it looks like we actually got in front of him there, so good job there. Next up is Esteban Gutierrez. We're battling with our teammate Danny Kvyat as we come into the pits for what should be our final pit stop of the race. It's a 14-lap sprint to the end pretty much, so it should be a fairly straightforward run to the finish there. We've got, is that Bottas or Massa right in front of us who just made their pit stop? I think it was Bottas, because Massa was a long way up the road. So unfortunately this race has just been pretty much a write-off race, and I'm not too sure where the Mercedes are in terms of Rosberg especially. I think he might actually be leading the race, but either way, lap 59, we've caught up to the back of Massa. Bottas goes fastest on a 21.2, so the track conditions really starting to improve in the last few laps. It took a little while for the puddles to clear and the temperature to rise, but either way, we got the inside of Massa. Job done. No, we've overshot the first corner there, and we'll need to repass him again if we can. Maybe up the inside into turn 2. Massa going fairly slowly as his rain light is still illuminated for some reason. That's only supposed to be lighting up if you're in the pit lane or if it's in raining conditions. But we go up the inside, slightly cut the corner there to give him a little bit of extra room there on the outside. And now there's a couple more cars who are lapped right in front of us. Perez and Hlkenberg battling each other. So Perez is for position, Hlkenberg is not, and Perez pulls out of the way for Massa. But in doing that, he's given me that position there. So at the moment, I'm trying to sort myself out amongst the lap cars, or the lap ahead cars. We got the inside of Maldonado, who's in second position, I should add. Maldonado taking over pretty much from where I left off at Lotus. So all of a sudden, Lotus has found a whole bunch of speed after I've left. So that's a bit crap. But either way, it's the last lap now. Nico Rosberg has won the race, and surely he's going to have the championship lead. But us, we've come across the line in a very disappointing 13th place. So there we go, 13th place in the Hungarian Grand Prix. My engineer has given me the silent treatment, as he often does whenever I don't do well on this game. Nico Rosberg wins from Pastor Maldonado, Fernando Alonso, and Romain Grosjean finishes in 4th. What? All of a sudden, the worst teammate in the world has now found his form after I leave Lotus, so that is just an absolute joke. But either way, that's been the Hungarian Grand Prix. We've taken a massive kick in the championship as well. I believe we're in second in the standings, so we'll see how that goes in just a second. But we had a lot of cars go a lap down there. Only 6 cars finishing on the lead lap. Daniel Ricciardo retiring late on in that Grand Prix. Jenson Button finishing in last place as well. The driver's standings, yes, we're 10 points behind Nico Rosberg in the standings. Lewis Hamilton closing in on us in 3rd. But that's been the Hungarian Grand Prix for today. If you like the video, if you enjoyed the video, guys, then leave a like. But until my next video, I'll see you next time.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you?